infections which keep happening even after taking a course of antibiotics, and the reason for antimicrobial resistance. So that drove me to do something in the arena. And once I started working with the ARC Center, I became aware that the antimicrobial resistance is not just in the human world, how it's also affecting the animal population around the world and agriculture. So that's why I thought working in this area where I could look at both human health and animal health is something important and crucial, and that drives me. I'm Dr. Anjana Jayasree. I work as a postdoctoral researcher at University of Queensland at School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. I got into research during my master's degree. So I did my master's of technology in nanosciences in India. So as part of my dissertation, I did a project on bone tissue engineering of developing scaffolds. And that's where I got my first publication, and that gave me immense happiness. And that's when I decided that research and academics is the area that I want to work in the rest of my life. After my master's, I worked for a couple of years in the same institute in India as a research assistant. And as part of the different projects in the institute, I had the opportunity to visit a university in Taiwan for an Indo-Taiwan project where I worked on tissue engineering for musculoskeletal regeneration and basically tendon regeneration and bioreactor systems. So, and I also had the opportunity to work on multiple projects on diabetic wound healing. So these all strengthened my interest to do research in regeneration and in infectious diseases. So that's when I heard about Professor Sasho Ivanowski at School of Dentistry. So they do a lot of implant-associated works and modifying titanium implants to facilitate bone regeneration as well as preventing biofilm formation. So I approached him and I was offered a PhD scholarship at UQ. So I've moved to Australia to pursue my PhD in 2020, just before the borders shut. So after my PhD, I was offered the position to join the School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences as part of an ARC center, training center, and that's how I got here. My current research basically focuses on developing solutions against, I would say, antimicrobial resistance. So antimicrobial resistance is a major crisis all over the world. So my focus was, till my PhD, was basically on human health. However, when I started my postdoc with Professor Amir Ali Poupet at School of Pharmacy, the ARC Center, training center I'm working with is called CSTA. So it's the Center for Environmental and Agricultural Solutions for Antimicrobial Resistance. So we have a team of researchers based at University of Queensland and University of Adelaide, working with industry collaborators basically for coming up with solutions for agricultural and in veterinary spaces to overcome antimicrobial resistance. So my work basically focuses on using metallic nanoparticles and microparticles and metal organic frameworks towards improving animal health, basically in the field of poultry, where we have an industry partner called Calix. And then we've got other projects which is also focusing on animal skin health, so as we can reduce AMR from an agricultural perspective. As part of our ARC training center, we work closely with researchers at University of Adelaide who work mostly in the veterinary space. Apart from that, we also work closely with researchers at AIBN, which is Australian Institute of Bioengineering and Nanotechnology at the University of Queensland. And we also have trying to establish collaborations with researchers across different departments within the university and also with universities based at Sydney and Melbourne. Currently, my research is being funded by Australian Research Council as part of the ARC Training Centre. I've seen my grandparents suffer from diabetic wounds. where he kept having an infectious wound in his feet, which would never heal, and it kept reopening. And I've had my in-laws, mother-in-law, she had an implant put in for a fracture in her femur, which kept getting infected, and we had to go in multiple times, and she was immobilized for a long period of time. So this made me aware that infections which keep happening even after taking a course of antibiotics, and the reason for antimicrobial resistance. So that drove me to do something in the arena. And once I started working with the ARC Center, I became aware that the antimicrobial resistance is not just in the human world, how it's also affecting the animal population around the world and agriculture. So that's why I thought working in this area where I could look at both human health and animal health is something important and crucial, and that drives me. Apart from my regular day-to-day work, I also love traveling. I love to take road trips across Australia. So one of the interesting road trips that I took was during Christmas last year. We did a road trip, a 3,000-kilometer road trip to Cooper PD and back. Other than that, I love advocating STEM. So I'm part of the Wonder of Science program at UQ. So we engage with students at school and inspire them to do science. And we also do some outreach programs like Soapbox Science, where we would communicate our science to the general public and especially inspire kids to do science.